What is up, guys, and welcome back to Rags to Riches 3, the series where we go from one of the worst teams in F1 2009 and then we work our way through all the Codemasters games and try and get a drive for one of the best teams in F1 2017. We are here in the 2011 season. It's round 3. It is, of course, the Chinese Grand Prix. But first of all, before we get into today's episode, if you guys are new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Then also go catch up with the series. There'll be a card annotation in the top right-hand corner of your screen. So go catch up with the previous round and the playlist. And there will also be a link in the description as well. Let's have a look at the standings, though, before the Chinese Grand Prix. P18 at the moment in the championship. It's been a difficult start to life in F1 2011. Of course, we are driving in the Lotus car, one of the backmarker teams. Very, very difficult. This car doesn't have curves. It's horrible through corners. The only good thing that we've got against the AI is that we can brake later than them. So that's really our only opportunity of making overtakes or even defending our position. But unfortunately, P18 is where we are currently in the standings, and that means that we have got a Mauritius seat at the moment for F1 2012. But can we do any better than that? Can we start to push on and maybe move up the standings? Let's find out as we head over to the race weekend for the Chinese Grand Prix. Here we go then, one-shot qualifying time for the Chinese Grand Prix, straight away putting it up into Rich Mix to try and be as quick as we possibly can. Again, we are aiming for at least P19 in the qualifying session. If we can do that, then that will be a pretty decent session at the end of the day, because I mean there's nothing really else that we can try and aim for, because it's very difficult out here on this 2011 game, especially in the car that we're in. If we can do any better than P19 though, then that'll be a miracle and I'll be extremely happy with that. But let's just see what this qualifying session has in store for us. It's 1 second down already as we go through the first sector, so not very good at the moment. Okay, so that's now 3 seconds down after sector 2. Let's see how we go through sector 3. Let's see how we do through this section, because if we can at least do okay, which we haven't done there, we've run it wide. Look at the aerodynamics of this car. The fact that you can't even take that corner flat out to the point that you run out wide is absolutely shocking from the Lotus team. Anyway, let's see what the rest of the lap has in store for us. Let's see if we can at least get P19 at the end of the day, because of course that is where we are aiming for. Because, like I say, there's no chance of me getting any of the other drivers, especially with lap times that I'm setting. Already, we've missed off from pole position. But let's see what we can do compared to the other drivers. We come across the line, and it is P19. My usual position of P19. And it looks like we've gotten further away from the midfield teams. The gap between us guys is now 3 seconds. Just a bit under 3 seconds. Not good enough at the end of the day. We are quicker, though, than the back markers by a second, so at least we've got that to be happy with. But the only problem is, because of that, that means we're going to have, again, nobody to fight with in the race, and it's going to be a case of just defending like hell. Anyway, Alonso is in pole position once again for today, 3 times in a row. Can anybody knock him off top spot? Lewis Hamilton qualifies in 2nd with Jenson Button 3rd. There's Felipe Massa in P4, Mark Webber in 5th, Nico Rosberg 6th, Sebastian Vettel down in P7. Not a good day for him, with Michael Schumacher in 8th. Kamui Kobayashi qualifies in P9 with Jaime Alguersuari rounding out the top 10. So, what can we do from P19 on the grid? Can we get our first points of the season? Let's find out. It's race day here at the Chinese Grand Prix. Once again, Fernando Alonso lining up in pole position. Can anybody knock him off top spot? There's myself in P19 with Jarno Trulli lining up 23rd on the grid. Not a good day for my teammate in the qualifying session. What can we do, though, here today as the lights are coming on now for the Chinese Grand Prix? It is 5 red lights, and it is lights out, and away we go. Straight away putting up into Rich Mix, and once again getting a better start than all the other drivers around me. Going down in towards turn 1 now. We have to be very cautious on the brakes and make sure we don't take anyone out, which I've kind of done there to Rubens Barrichello. That is not a good start for myself. I'm so sorry for that collision with Rubens Barrichello, but a great start around the outside, now picking our line through the middle of a couple of drivers. What a start that was through turn 1, now through turn 2, 3 and 4, and the run down in towards turn 5 and 6. I've got a driver on my right, a driver on my left. Can I get through here cleanly? I'm going to try it up the inside. Oh my god, nearly going into the back of Sebastian Vettel. I do actually touch him in the rears. I've got Toro Rosso who overtakes me for P10, so I'm just outside the points now. Then I go past Alguersuari and make contact with Vettel, but he stays on the track. He doesn't quite spin the car, and now I'm going to try to go around the outside of the Red Bull man. Can't quite do anything there. Jaime Alguersuari comes back at us around the outside. Now go back up the inside of the Toro Rosso driver. I squeeze him out. out. And there we go, moving up into the points now for this Chinese Grand Prix. What a start it has been to life here in China, but we're not done yet. We've got a long way left to go. We've got drivers attacking us. We're going to have to defend like hell if we want any chance of holding on to a points position. No surprise then that Nick Heidfeld is going for an overtake down in towards the hairpin. Of course, the AI just so much quicker than me in a straight line. We'll go up the round the outside, sorry, down in towards the hairpin. Nick Heidfeld still on the right-hand side. Nico Rosberg's just been overtaken by Sebastian Vettel through that corner as well. Good job from the German to overtake his fellow compatriot. We're still holding off the other German of Nick Heidfeld, but it's going to be very, very difficult over the rest of the race to really stay in this position, especially, look at that! We've just got no braking and no turning through turn 1. The Nick Heidfeld can just brake so much later and go up the inside. Honestly, what is the point? Come on! How am I expected to at least be competitive in this car if the other drivers can brake so much later into that corner and I can't even make it? As I'm now getting outbroken in towards the hairpin. The one thing that I had on the AI drivers was that I could outbrake them. And they're taking that away from me in China. This is just going to be a terrible race. Oh no, here goes Paul di Resta on the right-hand side. It was only really a matter of time before the Force India driver overtook us. And now Jaime Alguersuari also going for the overtake. Oh my god, what on earth was he doing through there? So we're going to go up the inside now on Paul di Resta. Can we pull off the double overtake? We're going to possibly be under attack from the switchback maneuver, but luckily neither of them go for that. We're coming into pits on this lap, however, so we need to make sure we do come into pits okay through the left, and there we go, into the pit lane we come, putting it down into lean mix as we enter the pits to try and save fuel. And what sort of time are we going to be expecting? Hopefully we do not get held up. It looks like we've actually got a little bit of a gap to Jaime Alguersuari. No, it's actually Sebastian Buemi. So Alguersuari, di Resta all stayed out for a little bit longer. What is the pit stop time going to be? And we get away. Okay, 4.1 seconds. That's a good time from the team. We come out in P14, P15 still, ahead of some of the back markers. So I'm definitely very happy with that. Need to make sure we put it straight back into standard mix so we don't come under pressure. But whereabouts are all the other drivers that were behind us before the pit stop phase going to be? They're going to be so much quicker than us. Our tyres are cold at the moment. We've got Narain Kartikeyan all over my tail at the moment. The only reason he's quicker than me right now is because he's on warmer tyres than ourselves. So we do need to be careful into this hairpin just to make sure we don't overshoot it on these cold tyres. And it looks like we got through okay. Although this car just takes so long for it to warm up the tyres, which is a little bit frustrating. So let's see how we do through the next couple of corners. Look at that, running it wide through that left-hander, now through the right. We should be okay, though, with tyre temperatures that we can push on and try and at least get back into P11. Right, where are these drivers, then, that were behind us and did not come into the pits? They're exiting the pit lane now. Will we come out ahead of any of those drivers? We're going to overtake two of them. We can't quite overtake all of them, though. We've come out in P12, just behind the Sauber of Sergio Perez. And it looks like Adrian Sittel might have a little look up the inside through turn 2. Couldn't quite get the job done. But Sergio Perez does come out ahead of us. He comes out in P11. And unfortunately, it's looking bad for us. I mean, at least P11, I know it's the first of the drivers not to score any points. So it doesn't really mean anything still. But at least in P11, if there is a driver that has a collision or goes for a second pit stop in this race, at least then we might have a slim chance of getting the points. But P12 really is just fighting for nothing at the moment. Okay, then here goes Adrian Sittel on the overtake of us on the left-hand side. Will Paul di Resta join in as well? Yes, he is. He's probably going to go to the right-hand side. We're going to try and go for the overtake again on Adrian Sittel around the outside into the hairpin, braking so much later than the Force India driver. Can we get him on exit, though? He's still on the right-hand side. Yes, we can. Much better on acceleration than Adrian Sittel. We're doing a pretty good job of defending from these guys at the moment. There's not long left to go in this race. About 4 laps left to go of this Chinese Grand Prix. Adrian Sittel, though, still very much putting pressure on us in this race. Can he do anything down towards turn 1? No, he can't. We broke early in towards that corner, still sort of holding him off. He might have a look, though, round the outside in towards turn 2. Goes for the switchback maneuver. Can we hold on through turn 3 and turn 4? We're back on the accelerator pedal side by side between the two of us, down in towards turn 5 and turn 6. Sittel looks like he might have the job done. We're going to switch it back to the inside line, brake later than the Force India man, and just about holding on to position. That was a really nice battle there with the Force India driver. Nothing that he can do now in towards this Estes section, so we are a little bit safe for the time being. But like I say, 4 laps still left to go of this race. Can we hold on? Oh no, we've run it wide. That has allowed Sebastian Buemi straight through there on the left-hand side. We'll see what we can do into the next couple of corners, whether we can come back at the Toro Rosso man, breaking so much later in towards this corner. He's on the left-hand side. We're on the inside now through this right-hander. Have we got the job done? Yes, we have, sort of, but having to lift off as that was a terrible line through the corner. And Buemi then comes back at us down in towards the next part. Do we have DRS though on Sebastian Buemi? No, we don't. Buemi has DRS. That's brilliant. Right, but we're going to follow in the slipstream anyway. Alguersuari had a look to go for the overtake. Here we go, following in the slipstream on Sebastian Buemi, braking later than him down into the hairpin. Can we hold on to the position though? Yes, we can. There we go, holding on to P12 for the time being. This is a really nice battle between us drivers at the moment. We've got Buemi, Alguersuari, Sutil. Who else is involved? Then I think it's a Williams back there, maybe Pastor Maldonado also getting involved in this battle. I defend my inside line from Sebastian Buemi, and he cannot go for an overtake. 2 laps left to go in the Chinese Grand Prix. Can we hold on to P12? Here goes Sebastian Buemi for the overtake on the left-hand side. Adrian Sutil also getting involved, but there was no room for Sutil to go for in towards that corner up the inside now of Sebastian Buemi. Can we get the job done into the hairpin? He's fighting it around the outside. He's holding on to position for the time being. We're squeezing him over to left-hand side. Little bit of a problem for us with DRS at the moment, even though that doesn't really matter as we're never really in a position to use it. As Buemi is now on the right-hand side. Jaime Alguersuari looking to get involved as well. We're going to go 3 wide down in towards turn 1. Luckily, both drivers decide to back out of it as we start the final lap now of the Chinese Grand Prix. Can we hold on to this position? It's going to be tense. It is definitely going to be tense over these final laps, sorry, of this race. But I've got Buemi all over the back of me. For some reason, the Toro Rosso just seems so quick at the moment. Whether he's done something to his car to make it go quicker or he's on the option tyres, I do not know right now. But Sebastian Buemi certainly pushing to try and get this position. We've got +1 lap of fuel, so we can actually put it into rich mix to try and go as fast as we possibly can. But let's just see what happens over the rest of this lap. Lewis Hamilton then wins this Chinese Grand Prix, finally putting an end to Fernando Alonso's reign of supremacy. He won the first 2 races, of course, but Lewis Hamilton finally ending that with a race win at the Chinese Grand Prix. Can we hold on to P12 though? Looks like Buemi and Alguersuari have dropped off a little bit from our tail through that corner, but they're going to pick up the DRS, they're going to pick up the toe, pick up the slipstream, all the way down into the hairpin. Alguersuari now probably going to go for an overtake on the right-hand side, down into the hairpin. Can he do anything under braking? I don't think so. I think we're going to be better under braking than the Toro Rosso man, which we are. There we go, through the hairpin, but 1 more corner left to go to hold on to P12 in this race. Can we do it? Alguersuari has 1 last late-ditch attempt, but we are going to hold on to P12 at the Chinese Grand Prix. Okay, it is not points here today, but it is definitely a huge step forward to trying to get points in this 2011 season. What a result that is from P19 on the grid. A great defensive race from myself today at the Chinese Grand Prix, even though we were still 53 seconds off the leader and Sergio Perez was still about 20 seconds up the road from us as well. But nevertheless, we pulled through and we have managed to get P12 in today's race. That should hopefully move us up a little bit in the drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton, though, he is the race winner with Fernando Alonso in second. Michael Schumacher making it onto the podium here today. Great result there from the Mercedes driver, with Jenson Button slipping down to P4. Felipe Massa finishes in 5th with Sebastian Vettel 6th. Mark Webber is in 7th, the champion from 2010, with Vitaly Petrov in 8th. Nico Rosberg finishes in 9th, with Nick Heidfeld getting the final championship point. Then with Sergio Perez in 11th and myself finishing in P12. Missing out on the points here today. Hopefully we can go 1 better next time around in Turkey. We will just have to wait and see. Any surprises today? No DNFs either. So let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship. P15. So that does move us up a few spots in the Drivers' Championship, but I do believe that that is still a Marussia seat for next season. And yes, it is. Unfortunately, P14 is a Caterham seat for F1 2012. So we've got to still push on a little bit more to try and get a better seat for 2012. There's still a long way left to go, but I reckon with a good couple of races, we can certainly do that. Constructors' Championship then and Lotus have now moved up into P9. So we're ahead of Force India, even though we are yet to score any points this season. And we're also 1 place behind Sauber, who are also yet to score points this season. So if we finish in 11th or 10th, then we should hopefully jump above the Sauber team. We're just going to have to wait and see for that. But that is it for today's Chinese Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. No interviews once again here at the Chinese Grand Prix. A little bit surprised by that as it was actually a good race for myself here in China. Even though we did not score any points, we made a bit of a step closer to the points paying positions. Right, standings then. To end today's episode, P15 at the moment is still a Mauritius seat for F1 2012, but we are getting closer to the Caterham and then to the Toro Rosso seats. If we start to get some points, then maybe we can start to get a Toro Rosso seat, but Nick Heidfeld is currently holding that, and he's on 7. So there is still a long way left to go, but we've got some good races coming up, like Turkey, then Spain, and then maybe Monaco. Monaco's going to be our chance to get some good points in this season, so if we can have a good run there, then maybe, just maybe, we can catch up to Nick Heidfeld. But that's going to end today's episode. If you guys have enjoyed this Chinese Grand Prix, don't forget to smash the like on it. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new around here for daily Formula 1 content. We've got Racks to Riches free, F1 2017 career mode, and of course some more F1 content coming to you guys next week. And as always, don't forget to leave your comments in the section below. I want to know what you thought about today's race. And again, if you've got any tips or any pointers for me on going quicker in this 2011 game, then I want to hear those. Leave those down in the comment section below. But I will see you next time at the Turkish Grand Prix. Until then, though, it's goodbye from me.